Hey everyone, Kristen Brooks here, and it's about time I brought you another episode of The Connection. I took some time off to pursue my opera career, and it didn't quite work out for me. From the royal wedding to natural disasters to the killing of Osama bin Laden, 2011 has been defined by many historic and dynamic events that will shape the world for better or for worse. And what better time to reflect than right now? Egyptian protesters toppled the 30-year rule of Hosni Mubarak, and rebels in Libya battled against supporters of longtime strongman Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi was eventually killed in October after months on the run. Man on the run, man on the run. Let's be playing guitar. It was definitely a rough year for Japan, from the 8.9 magnitude earthquake, which triggered the 23-foot tsunami destroying nearly everything in its way, to the worst nuclear crisis since the 1986 Chernobyl disaster. Hey, at least they still have Ninja Warrior and Hello Kitty, right? I mean, really. Natural disasters also hit the U.S. pretty hard, too. The largest tornado outbreak ever recorded twisted their way through the South, Midwest, and Northeast, with a record of 353 touching down between April 25th and 28th. And just 3 weeks later, a mile-wide tornado ripped through Jamie McMurray's, Google it, hometown of Joplin, Missouri, devastating the blue-collar town. For being in the Midwest, though, Joplin has a humid, tropical climate with mild to cold winters and very hot, humid summers. Joplin is situated in Tornado Alley, with the warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, dry air coming from the lee of the Rocky Mountains, leading to the formation of a supercell, thunderstorms from which the tornadoes are spawn. And what about Hurricane Irene, right? That bitch! From Washington to New York, residents in August braced for Hurricane Irene, a supposedly super powerful storm that forecasters feared would cause catastrophic damage. Yeah, well, the storm weakened before landfall, but since there's no footage for us to show you since it didn't happen, here's a picture of me from August. Let's see, what else happened this past year? Oh, right. Those Navy SEALs totally killed Osama bin Laden, which was awesome. And now here are some jokes that I totally snarfed. R.I.P. Osama bin Laden, World Hide-and-Go-Seek champ 2001 to 2011. They should have captured bin Laden alive and made him continually go through airport security for the rest of his life. Good news for the other guys in the top 10 most wanted list. Finally, they get to move up in the rankings. Man, I would not want to be 72 virgins right now. Osama bin Laden's last Facebook update, BRB, someone's at the door. What did Al-Qaeda learn from Osama bin Laden's death? Location, location, location. On a serious note, though, the killing did happen months before the 10-year anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, which were marked by the opening of several memorials, including an amazing outdoor tribute at Ground Zero in New York. In 2011, the U.S. saw unemployment hit 9%, and the Occupy Wall Street movement, a grassroots protest against policies favoring the richest 1%, spread to dozens of cities across the country and Europe. Okay, first of all, how do 10,000 people have enough time on their hands to sit around and try to get their message across by not showering, sleeping in a tarp tent, and banging on a drum all day? I mean, really. Second of all, I think that things like this are just an excuse for shit like this. I mean, really, we get it, you're different, and you think you can make a difference through the art of self-expression. Get the fuck out of here. Let's see what else happened this year. Okay. Representative Gabby Giffords was shot in the head by this squirrely-eyed bastard at a supermarket near Tucson, Arizona. 6 people were killed in the attack, including a young girl and a federal judge. Casey Anthony was found not guilty in Florida in her daughter's death, while Conrad Murray was convicted in the death of superstar Michael Jackson. Scandal struck our own backyard. Child sex abuse scandals tainted the athletics program at Penn State. Jerry Sandusky, the former Penn State assistant football coach, was charged with 40 counts of sexual abuse against children over a 15-year period. and legendary head coach Joe Paterno was fired in the scandal's aftermath. Now, I'd love to go off on this huge tangent about how crazy it is and how Joe Pa was totally given the business, but I can honestly say that I am completely talked out when it comes to this topic. Wait. This just in? Jerry Sandusky has attempted suicide by jumping into the sea. The Coast Guard found him bobbing up and down on a small buoy. Okay. All right, moving on. All right, so since this is an internet show, I guess we need to talk about all the tech stuff that happened this year for all you nerds out there. Oh, right. Sure, yeah. I call them nerds, and we lead off with this story. I mean, really. From humble middle-class roots to running the most valuable tech company in the world, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs was an extraordinary entrepreneur. His death on October 5th, after a long battle with cancer, made waves around the world. At Apple, Jobs helped create the personal computer industry and to design mega hits like the iMac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. Now, I don't disagree that these things transformed the music and mobile communication industries. But I do not understand public grieving when it comes to this stuff. Like, why are you leaving flowers, candles, and handwritten notes outside of Apple stores? It's just weird, okay? It's weird. And then there's clowns like this, okay? I don't get it. I don't get it, and I never will. The decade-old tablet PC market received a jolt with a ton of new products this year, sparked, no doubt, by the massive success of Apple's iPad. From Google to BlackBerry, Amazon.com seems to be the only one to crack this tablet formula with its Kindle Fire. It has been selling about 1 million devices each week since it debuted in November. In 2001, people spent more of their time on social networks than searching the web. In other words, more Facebook and less Google. So Google created its own Facebook-like environment with Google+. Users can share photos and browse friends' updates. Google Plus got off to a decent start, but I mean, let's face it, Facebook has had a super long head start. Google says that its social network is the key to the future of the company. So yeah, good luck with that, Google. With iTunes and iPod, Apple has a strong formula for dominating the digital music industry. Amazon and Google haven't even made a dent, but Spotify has proved itself as a worthy opponent. It hit the US super hard this year. Facebook Music, a page that shows what friends are listening to, has helped introduce wider audience to this on-demand streaming services like Spotify or MOG and Rhapsody. Is it just me, or do you really want people to know what you're listening to, like, at all times? Like, what if you're having a Hanson kind of day? Or maybe you're depressed and all you want to do is listen to Depeche Mode while you smoke clove cigarettes. I don't know, I'm just not sure if I'm sold on the idea yet. That's all I'm going to say. Let's face it, celebrity-driven drama interests you, and even if it doesn't, you're going to hear about it, whether it's from your annoying girlfriend or the loud talker walking through the grocery store. There are so many things to be grateful for this year. A very public meltdown, a love child, a ridiculous royal union, and the conclusion of an epic cinematic adventure, or maybe a courtroom verdict. It's all right here. Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher finally split after 6 years. They said it wouldn't last, and whoever they are, they were right. It was the perfect trifecta: a cheating scandal, TMI via Twitter, and a 16-year-old age difference. I mean, really. Amy Winehouse, brilliantly talented yet tragically troubled, lost her battle with alcoholism on July 23rd at the notorious music legend age of 27. She was found dead in her bed in her London flat. Kim Kardashian got married for like a minute. There's certainly no question that the reality star, from engagement to wedding planning to televised engagement to wedding special to the divorce filing to the premiere of the show that will chronicle the downfall of her marriage to Chris Humphries, was pure catnip for the masses. But for normal, and I do use that word lightly, people like me, we could care less. And in my opinion, the Kardashians can take a long walk off a short pier. Arnold revealed his love child with the housekeeper. Can you believe this guy? I mean, really, like, how lazy are you that you can't even leave your house to have an affair? God. The Harry Potter series ended in 2011. The epic 8-part movie franchise adapted from J.K. Rowling's best-selling novels came to a close this summer with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It upsets me. How about Charlie Sheen, right? He totally had a meltdown. He had already trashed his marriage 2 years ago, and it was last year that he trashed the room at the Plaza. But the epic trashing of his career belonged to 2011, which kicked off with 2.5 Men on hiatus so that its star could figure himself out. You know what Charlie Sheen figured out? That he didn't want to be sane anymore. All right, so 2011, in review for Chaz, he got fired, went on tour, banked about $25 million from the settlement, presented at the Emmys, and sold a new sitcom to FX. Definitely winning. And of course, we can't possibly forget the royal wedding. Why? Because it was in our faces every second of every day for months. Prince William married his princess, Kate Middleton, in a beyond glamorous wedding ceremony at Westminster Abbey. Their wedding was one of the most watched events of the year, from TV to the internet. Like, really, people? You're getting up at 4 a.m. to watch this shit?
I see dead people.
In 2011, we lost some good, some bad, and some totally ugly. Now, let's take a minute to reflect back on those who passed. Kim Jong-il had a massive heart attack, known in North Korea as the Dear Leader, and pretty much everywhere else as one of the world's most famous dictators. I wonder if every time a cruel dictator dies, an angel gets its wings. I don't know. Harry Morgan, most known for his role as Colonel Sherman T. Potter in the hit military TV show MASH. Colonel? Comedian and actor Patrice O'Neal was pronounced dead from complications of a stroke he suffered back in September. O'Neal appeared on shows like The Office and The Chappelle Show, as well as being a regular guest on the Opie and Anthony radio show. He was only 41. Rapper Heavy D was rushed to an LA hospital after collapsing at his Beverly Hills home. Though Heavy was conscious when his first responders arrived at the scene, he did die shortly after from a pulmonary embolism. Former heavyweight champion Smokin' Joe Frazier succumbed to liver disease at the age of 67. Winner of 27 out of 33 fights, Frazier only lost 4 times in his career, twice to George Foreman and twice to Muhammad Ali. Emmy Award-winning 60-minute commentator Andy Rooney died of complications due to surgery. His final taping was on November 2nd, 2011. He died just 3 days later on November 5th. On October 16th, IndyCar driver Dan Wheldon died after suffering severe injuries in a 15-car wreck at the Las Vegas Indy 300. He was 33 years old. The 2-time Indianapolis 500 winner, including 2011's race, was critically hurt when his car sailed over the top of another during a massive fiery wreck during lap 13. Former Weezer bassist Mikey Welsh died from a suspected drug overdose in a Chicago hotel on October 8th. He was 40 years old. In an eerie tweet dated September 26th, he predicted his own death. Welsh wrote, "Dreamt I died in Chicago next weekend. Heart attack in my sleep. Need to write my will today." Kind of sounds like a suicide prediction to me. I'm just saying. Just saying. Steve Jobs, chairman and co-founder of Apple, died due to complications from pancreatic cancer. He was just 56. The creator of Doritos, Arch West, died of natural causes in Dallas. He was laid to rest on October 1st. His urn placed in a grave, and yes, they sprinkled it with Doritos. He was just 97. Frances Bay, best known for her roles in Happy Gilmore and Seinfeld, died in Los Angeles after being admitted to the hospital for pneumonia. She was 92 years old. Oscar winner actor Cliff Robertson, you know as Uncle Ben from the Spider-Man films, died just 1 day after his 88th birthday. In August 2011, 10-year NFL vet and Police Academy star Bubba Smith, a.k.a. Moses Hightower, died at age 66 in his LA home. Get this, cause of death, a diet pill overdose. This busta was popping too much fen-phen. Totally crazy. Amy Winehouse lost her battle with alcoholism on July 23rd at the age of 27. The very talented but often troubled UK pop star was found dead in her London home, and not one person was shocked, including myself. Moving on, here's a lady that Winehouse really should have seen, despite if her daddy thought she was fine. Betty Ford died at the age of 93. She was known primarily for her work post-White House and for founding one of the most famous rehabilitation facilities in the world, the Betty Ford Clinic. On June 24th, Peter Falk, Columbo, died at the age of 83 in his Beverly Hills home. Just 5 days later, on June 29th, Ryan Dunn, one of the regular daredevils from MTV's hit Jackass, died in a car crash, leaving the vehicle decimated and seemingly melted. The big man, Clarence Clemens, the saxophonist in the E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen's backup band, of course, died of complications from a stroke. Dr. Jack Kevorkian, the Michigan pathologist who put assisted suicide on the world's medical ethics stage, died at the age of 83. The assisted suicide advocate had been hospitalized for pneumonia and kidney-related ailments. Jeff Conaway, the tormented reality show star, fell into a coma and passed away. He had become more famous in recent years for his battle with drugs and alcohol and celebrity rehab than for his role as Kenickie in Grease, which was fantastic, by the way. Macho Man Randy Savage died due to injuries from a car accident after suffering a heart attack while driving in Tampa, Florida. The pro wrestler was popular for over 20 years on the WWE, WCW, and TNA wrestling circuits. He was famous for his ring attire and his legendary catchphrase, "Oh yeah." The only person on this list that we are definitely not mourning, Osama bin Laden, the terrorist that orchestrated the World Trade Center attacks on September 11th, was finally found and killed in a compound outside Pakistan. Yvette Vickers, 82, an early Playboy playmate whose credits include movies such as Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and Attack of the Giant Leeches, was found dead on April 27th at her home. And get this, when they found her, her body was in a mummified state, which suggests that she could have been dead for close to 1 whole year. Like, what kind of person are you that no one comes to visit or check on you for a whole year? You know, a wise man once said, you could tell the measure of a man by looking at his friends, and apparently Vickers was not 50 feet tall. Get it? Measure, tall. In March of 2011, movie legend Elizabeth Taylor passed away due to congestive heart failure. She was 79. Taylor starred in a string of successful films, but she was certainly most famous for her role as Cleopatra. She won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress and was famously married 8 times to 7 husbands. Okay. Part of Motown singing duo Ashford and Simpson, Nick Ashford succumbed to throat cancer at the age of 70. He was best known for his hits Ain't No Mountain High Enough and Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing. I bet if he were able to release a song now, it'd be titled Ain't Nothing Like Being Alive. Too soon? Too soon? Okay. Michael Gough, or as we know, Batman's butler Alfred, died at the age of 94. Hip-hop legend Nate Dogg died in March due to natural causes at the age of 41. He had suffered through 2 strokes, which left him partially paralyzed and mostly bedridden. I guess he should have regulated his treatment a little better. No? No? All right. And finally, fitness guru and power juicer hustler Jack LaLanne died at the ripe age of 96 due to complications from pneumonia. So that was actually pretty depressing, and I apologize, and I definitely don't want to end the show like this. So here's a video montage from one of my favorite shows. Tune in next time for more of me and everything you didn't know and didn't need to know on The Connection.
husbands 8 times. Now I get it. She was married to the same guy twice. What?